When Ethan first said he felt uneasy about how close I was with Liam, I laughed in his face. It sounded absurd. Liam had been my closest friend since college. The one who sat with me through panic attacks, breakups, and every late-night meltdown I was too embarrassed to admit to anyone else. He existed in my life long before Ethan did, and that made me feel like I owed him a loyalty nothing could challenge. I told Ethan he was just being insecure, that a confident man wouldn't feel threatened by a harmless friendship. He didn't argue. He simply nodded, slow and quiet, his eyes carrying something I didn't understand then. We'd been married 4 years. Our lives had settled into the soft routine of adulthood. Coffee in the morning, shared chores, Friday dinners. I thought we were unshakable. I believed love meant speaking freely, without worrying about stepping on each other's feelings. But now, looking back, I realize I mistook his silence for agreement, when really, something inside him was cracking quietly. Liam was a type who commanded attention without trying. Funny, smooth, effortlessly charming. He made me laugh with a kind of ease that felt addictive. Whenever Ethan and I argued, I would run to Liam. He'd send stupid memes, or stay on call with me for hours while I complained about Ethan's overreactions. I convinced myself it was harmless. Everyone needs someone like that, I thought, but one night changed everything. It was a small gathering at our friend Emily's place. Couples, old classmates, too much wine. I sat next to Liam. The jokes were loud, the teasing constant. At one point, Liam nudged Ethan and joked, "If you ever mess up, man, I'm stealing your wife." Everyone laughed, including me. I shoved Liam's shoulder. Someone took a photo right in that moment, and the whole room erupted, except Ethan. He didn't laugh. He excused himself and barely said a word the rest of the night. I brushed it off. On the drive home, he finally spoke. "Do you have any idea how humiliating that was?" "It was a joke," I said, annoyed. "You're blowing it out of proportion." "Everyone was laughing," he murmured. "Except me." We barely talked. I went to bed angry. He slept on the couch. The next morning, I woke to the smell of coffee, like all was normal, until I saw my phone. Dozens of messages from Liam. "He's mad again, hello." Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Ethan had already left for work. I moved through the day irritated, convinced Ethan just didn't get me. When he came home, I gave him a half-hearted apology. "I'm sorry you felt embarrassed, but honestly, Ethan, you're too sensitive." It was nothing. He looked at me, not furious, not distant, just exhausted. "I've tried to explain this so many times," he said quietly. "This isn't jealousy, Claire. It's about respect. You share pieces of yourself with him that you don't share with me anymore. I'm watching you laugh with him in ways you don't laugh with me. I'm not trying to compete, but I'm starting to feel like I already lost." I crossed my arms, defensive. "He's my best friend. You're my husband. That's not the same thing." "Exactly," he replied. "And these days, I can't tell which one holds more weight for you." The words hit a nerve I wasn't ready to admit. Pride drowned everything else. I rolled my eyes, muttered something dismissive, and walked away. He didn't chase the argument. He just nodded and disappeared into the bedroom, closing the door. Later, I heard him on the phone, his voice low, steady. When I peeked in, he was packing a suitcase. "What are you doing?" I whispered. He looked up calmly, too calmly. "You said I was jealous. Maybe you're right. Maybe I need distance to understand why I feel like a stranger in my own marriage." I stood there, frozen. My pride told me not to beg, not to break, not to make this bigger than I had pretended it was. He zipped the suitcase, grabbed his keys, and walked past me. No yelling, no slammed doors. Just quiet. Quiet that seeped into the walls long after he left. For the first time, Liam's name didn't feel comforting. It felt like the reason my husband didn't look back. The next morning, Ethan's absence was everywhere. His toothbrush was gone. His jacket, even the photo from our anniversary trip, had disappeared from the nightstand. I checked my phone. No messages from him. Only Liam again. "You okay?" Did he flip out? For the first time, Liam's concern felt intrusive. Days passed. Ethan said nothing. His co-workers mentioned he was staying with his brother. I convinced myself he'd return once he calmed down. Deep down, I knew something had shifted so drastically it might never reset. Liam tried to be supportive. He brought food, told jokes, tried to fill the void. But every time he mentioned Ethan's name, all I could see was my husband's humiliated face at Emily's house. A week later, Liam showed up uninvited. "You gotta stop sulking," he said, setting down pizza. "He's being dramatic. You didn't do anything wrong." But I had, not physically, but emotionally, in ways that rot a marriage quietly. Every time I vented to Liam instead of speaking to Ethan. Every secret I shared with him first. Every eye roll behind Ethan's back. Every moment, I made him feel like a guest in his own relationship. "I think I need space," I told Liam softly. "From you." He stared at me, baffled. "You're choosing sides now?" "I'm choosing clarity," I said. He left annoyed. That same evening, I noticed Ethan had unfollowed me everywhere. A tiny gesture, but it hit like a punch. Weeks turned into months. The silence that once felt peaceful became suffocating. Mutual friends stopped inviting me places. I'd see Ethan in their photos, laughing, relaxed, lighter, a version of him I hadn't seen in years. One night, while cleaning my inbox, I found an email I had ignored long before everything fell apart. "Claire, I love you, but lately I feel like I'm on the outside looking in. I don't want to fight for a place in your life. Please just tell me what you need from me, because I'm scared that one day I'll stop asking." That was the message that finally shattered me. Months later, I heard he'd moved back to town, and that he was seeing someone, a woman named Hannah. Calm, soft-spoken, gentle. I told myself I was glad for him, until I saw the photo of them together. His smile was free. I worked up the courage to call him. He didn't pick up. The next day, same thing. I finally sent a message. "Ethan, I'm truly sorry. I see everything now. I hope you're happy." He replied 2 days later. "I am. I hope you find peace too." And that was it. A few weeks later, I ran into him at a cafe. He looked surprised but unbothered. He greeted me with a polite, quiet smile. Hannah's hand rested on his arm. He didn't move it. "Hi, Claire," he said gently. "Hi," I whispered. He didn't ask how I was. Didn't mention the past. Didn't need to. Peace doesn't look back. That night, I deleted Liam's number. Not out of anger. Out of understanding. Respect was never about control. Ethan wasn't trying to own me. He was trying to protect what we built. And I was too blinded by ego to see it. By the time I finally understood the damage I had done, the man who once begged me to listen had created a life where he didn't have to ask twice. And I was left with the kind of silence you don't just hear, you earn. The silence that comes when you mistake loyalty for limitation, and only realize the difference once the person who loved you most stops knocking.